So last week I was streaming and somebody in the chat, they sent me this video, bruh, about this thing called absurdism. I ain't never heard of that shit, bruh. I didn't know anything about it, but I'm not gonna lie. After watching the video, bruh, that shit was so interesting to me, bro. Like it really, a lot of the stuff that they talk about in this video really resonated with me, bro. I don't know. I was like caught off guard. I wasn't expecting to be that interested in something called absurdism. Like when I heard it, I ain't gonna lie, low key, I was kind of thinking this might be some dumb shit, dog. I ain't gonna lie, but nah. For me, a lot of stuff that they talk about in this absurdism video, bruh, like I said, that shit really, really just resonated with me personally, bruh. But I ain't gonna lie, like I feel like I was kind of like going back and forth between the chat and like the video when I initially saw it. So I kind of wanted to take some time out to really digest the video properly and yeah, make a video about it because I don't know, I like making videos about things that pique my interest, I guess. So yeah, man, we're gonna get into this video, bruh. I kind of want to say the whole like, comment, subscribe thing, but low key, I feel like if you're gonna like, comment, and subscribe, you're gonna do that shit anyway. Like, why do you need me to tell you, bruh? But yeah, let's check out this video about this thing called absurdism. Apparently, I guess some old philosopher came up with it. I think they may go over that in the video. But yeah.
It begins with
Is the volume up? Okay.
nihilism, the philosophy that life has no meaning and the world is here for no reason.
Okay.
Do a little dance, make absolutely.
So nihilism is the world has no meaning and the world is here for no reason. I have heard of nihilism before, but just having this kind of proper definition really helps, not gonna lie. Okay.
No love, get incredibly down tonight. Suddenly, existentialism is getting popular. The main idea being, okay, maybe we aren't here for divine reasons, and the world has no absolute purpose, but that's kind of neat because it means you have no shackles. Behold.
Okay, hold on. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I'm gonna pause this video and like go back and forth a lot because there's a lot to digest. There's a lot to digest, and I'm a little slow, I'm not gonna lie. So existentialism is
down tonight. Suddenly, existentialism is getting popular. The main idea being, okay, maybe we aren't here for divine reasons, and the world has no absolute
reason.
Purpose.
Oh, purpose. Okay.
It's kind of neat because it means you have no shackles. Beholden neither.
Yeah, it's kind of neat that you have no shackles, okay?
Neither to gods nor kings. First and foremost, you're not an employee or a citizen or a digital nomad, but a person. First, you are a person. Also meaning that every decision is your own, but also meaning no one is coming to the rescue. And
right. Okay. See, I'm not religious, so I kind of, like, again, I had been thinking, kind of this way for a while. I just didn't know there was I guess a term for it and shit. But yeah, I like that, man. The fact that you have no shackles. That's kind of how I look at it. You're a person. All my decisions are my decisions to make, so I have to deal with the consequences. If it's a bad decision, I'm not blaming Sky Daddy or fucking the devil or whatever. Yeah. I like that way of thinking.
Most importantly, no one is really in charge, and it's hard not to sympathize today with that. Have you looked around? Where are the real adults? Billionaires don't seem all that happy, politicians don't seem all that uncorrupted, and personally I won't be taking any life advice from someone who dresses up as a chess piece. The beauty of that anarchy though, one can self-create meaning. Life is not something done to one, but something one does.
You do
Albert
to life,
Camus
right.
had other ideas though.
I like that, yeah, you make life what it is. I think I talked about it with the guy in the chat, man. Shout out to Squeaky Possum. I think his name is, bro. Shout out to Squeaky Possum. But yeah, I kind of told him I kind of look at life like a goddamn. I feel like life is like the biggest open world sandbox video game, bro. That's kind of how I live my life. Like I can literally do whatever I want. That's humanly possible. Of course, I can't like shoot laser beams out of my eyes or like fly or some shit, bro. But literally, this is my game. I'm the main character. Like, I don't really like the term main character syndrome. That's kind of weird because I feel like a lot of those videos you see those guys are like out in public and all they do is care about themselves. That's not me personally. Like, I'm just saying I can literally do what I want. You can literally, again, we're not advocating this, but you can literally kill somebody or you can go like hug an old lady at a nursing home. Like, that's the crazy part about life. There's like this, there's like the spectrum is so fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, you can choose to wake up and like end somebody's life, or you can like go fucking help old people in the hospital or in the nursing home. That you can be good. That's how I look at life, brother. You can do whatever you want, literally.
A French-Algerian thinker, originally destined to be a footballer until he contracted tuberculosis.
Hold on, I feel like I'm losing.
Thinker, originally destined to be a footballer until he contracted tuberculosis, Camus agreed with some of existentialism's diagnoses, but disagreed about the medicine. Sure, we're abandoned to freedom, he granted, but
right.
So what? The real problem is that we are machines hungry for meaning and purpose, yet destined to look for it in a universe that is nevertheless...
I think, okay, so he just said right there.
We are machines hungry for meaning and purpose.
We are machines hungry for meaning, but maybe we shouldn't be. I think being hungry for meaning is a choice. I think that kind of goes against the previous thing about you have no shackles. Life is what you do to it. Life is just a video game in a sense. Just it's an open world video game, like where it's an open world sandbox game where there's really no story. You create the story. You're the, you know what I'm saying? You're the game dev, you're the writer. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, yeah. Maybe being hungry for meaning and purpose, and maybe that's not necessarily the right way to go about things, maybe. Just enjoy the ride, Brody. You know what I'm saying? Make your own ride and enjoy it, bro.
Yet destined to look for it in a universe that is nevertheless cruel, unpredictable, and apparently completely apathetic to us. We will be hatched, matched, and dispatched, all the while probably never working out what it was all for.
See, I feel like this is like a sad emo kid way of looking at shit. Like, yeah, you know, you can do whatever you want, but we're still looking for purpose in a world that's so crazy and chaotic. Like, that's like some depressed emo kid shit. Like, yo, shut your bitch ass up, bro. Literally. Yes, the world is wild as hell. I think we've known that since we were all born. Like, you can look at history and look at the world and see, yeah, it's always been a crazy, fucked up place. It looks like that's the nature of the world. It's a very chaotic, crazy place. Humans are crazy, chaotic, and can be very evil. That looks like that's the nature of the game. So why get mad at something's nature? You don't get mad at a dog for barking, do you? I mean, maybe you do if it's too loud, but you don't get mad at a bird for, like, flying. That's its nature. A bird flies. The world is chaotic. People can be evil. That's its nature. Why get mad or depressed about the nature of something? I think that's kind of like that sad emo kid way of looking at shit. Like, it makes no sense. Okay, it's okay. I guess it's supposed to make no sense. What does that have to do with you and your game? You still have your character to control. Like, what does that have to do with you? You sad little bitch. Like, nigga.
Don't look at me like that. You clicked on this video. Well, Camus reasoned there are maybe only 3 courses of action available to us in such a ridiculous situation. 1, refusing to play the game, as in ending one's life.
Ending yourself?
And
yeah, you can do that if you want.
2, a leap of faith. Or
yeah, don't off yourself, but you literally can in the you can off yourself if you want to. Like, no one's stopping you. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying literally. And it's a video game. You have the ability to jump off the cliff or ram your car into the fucking... Like, in a video game, you can take your character off the cliff. You can do that. Like, you have the ability to do it. I'm not saying you should do it or advocating it.
Faith in something that there is meaning somewhere. This could be anything from believing in a deity to consulting a sentient melon called Terence before making
religion or some type of belief system.
3, absurdism. Full recognition.
Okay, so he's saying the 3 main options for kind of going through life at this point is either offing yourself, 2 is like finding religion or have faith in, like, pretty much finding religion, some type of religion, or 3, absurdism. The reason why we're here. Well, the reason why I wanted to make this video.
Acceptance of our absurd situation, of the harshnesses and slights of life, of the fact that we'll probably never attain absolute truth and purpose, and not surrendering to that in a blaze of nihilism, but living in spite of it. A revolt against meaninglessness itself. As Camus put it, the only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. Because it isn't meaninglessness that hurts, Camus insisted. It's the contradiction of needing meaning and not getting it, particularly our inability to let go of the contradiction itself. For example, Ever since my teens, I've been rather terrorized by the question, why is there something rather than nothing? Because what we're really asking, probably, is why is there anything here at all? Meaning, presumably,
who knows?
Either the universe had a beginning in time, or it had
Who the
no
fuck
beginning
knows,
in
man?
time. Well, alright, let's imagine everything began with the biggest of bangs 14 billion years ago. Fine, but if that was the beginning of time and stuff existing, then there can't have been anything before that by definition. Nothing but nothingness. And how can nothingness create stuff? Even if something exotic preceded the Big Bang, like a quantum fluctuation or whatever. Well, alright, but
we don't
that's
have
not
these
nothing,
answers,
that's
bro.
a different something. And we're back to asking the same question. What came before that? And that? And that? Looking
Who
for the
knows?
first uncaused cause until one's head simply fucking explodes. Okay, maybe creation has been around forever then. The universe had no beginning in time. Well, that solved the whole something from nothing problem. Maybe the Big Bang was the next iteration in a cycle of universes. Expansion, collapse, expansion, collapse. Yeah, okay, but how does that work either? Maybe some weird perversion of general relativity. Maybe the universe creates itself from the end of time. But again, shouldn't that have started somewhere, even if the starting point is in our future? How can any system exist without a
this is
defined
how
beginning?
niggas be going
and yet,
crazy,
if the
bruh.
universe had one, then it must have come from literally nothing. I used to find if
Why
I
do
thought about
niggas
this
get
for too
mad at
long,
that
it
shit,
inspired the same kind of horror as when you realize that third joint was a bad idea. Why do both positions seem reasonable and yet completely contradictory? In academic bollocksy talk, this is called an antinomy. Two premises that work fine by themselves but won't reconcile. A paradox, in
what
other
was
words. And the beginning of the universe
What were the two things? The universe had a beginning in time. The universe had no beginning in time. The universe had a beginning in time versus the universe had no beginning in time. Who knows, man? I'm not even smart enough to think about this. I'm not a goddamn physicist and understand how time works and shit like that. Who the fuck knows, man?
A paradox, in other words. And the beginning of the universe is hardly the only one. Like, is matter infinitely divisible, or is matter finitely divisible? Can you keep blowing particles open until you reach a string or quark or something at the bottom of nature that you can't divide anymore? And if so, why? Or can you just keep peeling the universe open like an onion, divisible all the way down? And if so, why? And for that matter, have all events already happened and we just have to live through them, much like sitting through a film where the real is already there in the projector? Or is the present the only true moment, the past gone, the future not existing yet? In either case, why? Or are all of our choices predetermined by every material?
There is no breaking free of the chain of causation. Each choice is a moment of pure freedom. I don't know.
State that came before us, giving us no real choice in anything. How to tell the difference? Likewise, one day could we conceivably know everything about how the world works? And on that day, could we be sure there wasn't something missing? Ignorant of our own ignorance? How would we know? Then there are all the Whibley human paradoxes. Why do terrible things happen to good people and vice versa? Why can't we gain full control of our own minds? Where is the line between the conscious and the subconscious? Are the mechanics of consciousness us as well? Are we all of it, the mechanism and the mind? Because it doesn't feel that way. And finally, if we've been abandoned,
bro, low key, he sounds way smarter than me, but it sounds like he's one of those people that have gotten to that point. Because I've gotten to that point too, where you just start questioning everything and stuff just makes no sense. It's like you have this question, and it's like you have an answer, but then that answer provides or like creates another question, and you just keep going through like what the fuck is even reality? Like I've been there. I think that's how I kind of got to the point of absurdism, maybe. Not at that point, but I think that was the start of my journey, I guess, into... I don't even want to put labels on myself, but again, with absurdism, a lot of the, I guess, key components of it, I had already kind of had those thoughts. And yeah, bro, I feel like a lot of people that aren't religious and kind of go through that phase of questioning life and reality and nothing makes sense. I think you just have to calm down, like, bro, it's okay. I think that's the point. We're not supposed to know. I think that may be the point. That seems like that's the only reasonable way to go about it. Yeah, we have all these questions, but we're never going to probably know the answer, so it's okay.
To total freedom and drift about in the existential ocean, captaining a ship of one. With no rules to life but those we give it, how are we supposed to find meaning or belonging or just the bare basics of a reason to live in a universe this unkind and uncaring, where hopeless...
I mean, listen, man, go find something you like to do, man. There's pretty girls out here you can do. I feel like, again, we're getting to that point where it's just like, what's the point if there's no we don't know understand what life is. What's the point of living? Like, nigga, we got bad bitches out here. We got video games out here, nigga. GTA 6 about to come out, nigga. We got music, nigga. We got beautiful architecture, nigga. Nature, nigga. It's a lot of shit to do in this game of life, bruh. How did niggas get, like, depressed? I guess, I ain't gonna lie. I guess, low-key, I was kind of depressed before. But my shit was more, I wasn't even depressed. My shit was just some, like, ego death. Yeah, my shit was different. My shit was, like, self-inflicted. But, like, nigga, it's okay. You don't gotta be. There's a lot of shit to do here in the game of life, bruh.
Business seems inevitable, pitted daily against tragedies with no explanation, maladies defying medicine, and let's be honest, other humans who are just straight up cocks. How can anyone live like this, with so much unexplained or random or totally contradictory? Who wouldn't lose their minds? Who wouldn't fall into nihilism? Who wouldn't lose all hope and reason for being?
The absurdists.
Albert Camus wouldn't. That's where all this is heading, obviously. Another small detour first, though, because I wrote this next bit while I was quite high. Hey, in 1914, Ernest Shackleton and a crew of 27 embarked on an expedition. Their plan? To cross the Antarctic by foot. So, off they sailed south on the South Atlantic Ocean. 4.5 stars on Google reviews for some reason. By early 1915, however, their ship, the Endurance, was trapped in pack ice, inexorably drifting south in it. Soon enough, the ice kindly crushed the Endurance and sank it, and soon enough, there they were, lost on the frozen plains of nothing. And so they wandered, by foot, by lifeboat, for months. Fuck? They came upon an island, finally. Elephant Island, the first land in 500 days. But so what? They were still marooned and no help was coming. Shackleton and a few others set off to mount a rescue effort, while the rest of the crew stayed behind to try and, well, not die.
Crazy.
Shackleton found help 800 miles later, returned to his crew, and everyone got home alive eventually. And even though the
Bro, they did all that without technology. Just hearing that story, they literally said some niggas got shipwrecked in Antarctica. And then one nigga left and came back and saved them. How the fuck do you do all that without a goddamn GPS, bro? I know this is kind of random, it's kind of going off the whole, this is not the point of the video is what I'm trying to say, but that, bro, just think about that shit. Like, living back then was wild. That was a wild time, bro. Niggas was in Antarctica shipwrecked without a phone, dog. And niggas still found each other. Humans is interesting, bro.
Expedition was a failure.
They look like they run the, they look like they the 3 founding members of the Illuminati, bro. Them niggas eat babies, bro. God damn, what the fuck?
Technically. It's remembered today as one of the greatest tales of modern survival. But what's strange is reading about how the crew lived all those months stuck in cold, waiting for Shackleton to come back with help, though knowing it was very unlikely he would return. They put on silly plays for each other, made a tradition of moonlight walks, and laughed often. 1,000 miles from anyone, perhaps the most isolated humans in the world at the time, they retained their humanity. As Alfred Lansing writes, in some ways, they had come to know themselves better. In this lonely world of ice and emptiness, they had achieved at least a limited kind of contentment. They had been tested and found not wanting. Which is exactly where absurdism begins. Because aren't we on the ice? Freezing and isolated? Aren't we tortured by the same questions the stranded crew were? Is rescue coming? Will we make it? What the hell are we even doing here? Aren't we just as marooned, thrown into this era,
I'm not worried about that
situations, in these bodies, by physics and chaos and biology and history and God knows what else, and expected somehow to live through it? And how do we live through it? Oh, Camus replies,
you breathe.
By being very, very French, with passion and freedom and a revolt, with the passion to pursue the joy of being for the sake of it, with the freedom to at any moment choose to continue, to choose to live, to create hope internally, and with the spirit of revolution, a rebellion against the harshness and strangeness of existence itself. Nothing will last, and maybe I'll never understand what the world is here for, what I'm here for, and then I'll live even more intensely. I won't just gaze into the abyss, I'll maintain uncomfortable eye contact with it. I'll go get laser eye surgery so I can stare even harder.
There you go.
Your empty abyss?
Man up. There you go.
Fucking DMs, mate.
What would Camus do? Eat, pray, love? Sure, but equally well, drink, blaspheme,
enjoy the ride.
At lampposts,
hell
take
yeah.
up the mandolin, dye one's dick blue. No idea. But this is
hell
the
yeah.
burden of freedom. This is the weight of being. This is absurdism. Perhaps there's a holy watcher in the sky. Perhaps
maybe
we're an alien experiment. Perhaps it's all just atoms and chance. Who can be sure? Not us. Not
we
yet.
Can't be sure.
But we can dance in the mystery, absurdism says.
Yeah.
Dance is the point all along. born
Just
into
enjoy
an
it, my
absurd theatrical
nigga.
performance that makes no sense, and rebelling against the lack of sense itself by being better and kinder and weirder. Living inside a paradox and still doing the dishes, knowing we might never know what it was all about, and carrying on anyway.
Yeah.
Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is the mastery of fear. It is saying to oneself, wow, that thing really scares me. I guess I'll just go ahead and do it anyway, though. Likewise, absurdism isn't an answer to the mysteries of life. Why bad things happen, where the universe came from,
it's not an answer.
how to survive this.
We don't have the answers.
Shit. It's just asking the question, oh God, what if we never achieve final explanations? What if we never see the big picture? What if we go our whole lives without ever having known what it was all about? And replying to oneself,
It might be like that.
oh look, it's a puffin. It's a nice puffin. It's a nice day. Oh, we're alive. That's unprecedentedly weird and cool, whether it's fully explained or not.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's go for a beer.
Yeah.
Sorry, one more thing. Another shameless book plug, huh? I got very bored of writing sci-fi last year, and just at the point I was contemplating throwing
he's an
myself out the
author
window
too?
for something to do, I started messing around with poems instead. It was a lot more fun than sci-fi, and I was quite surprised to find it turned into a book eventually. It's called Poems for the Lost, because I'm lost too, which I think is quite self-explanatory. It's about absurdism, really. And before I changed the subject category, it was also momentarily #1 in the poetry about death list, which, for reference, you can reach the top of by selling just 2 copies of a book. So thanks to my mother and my mother for that. For once, the digital and print versions are both out at the same
his moms
time,
are lesbians?
which is now. I'll leave a link below if you're interested anyway. As is tradition, I'll leave a link below if you're not. If you do end up giving it a read, thank you ever so much. And if you don't, totally understood. We're no longer friends and I despise your very being. Big love as ever. Cheers.
Yeah, bro. That is absurdism, bro. Yeah. I honestly, bro, I feel like if everyone kind of followed a lot of this shit that absurdism kind of talks about, I think this would be a much better world. Again, I'm just a college dropout. Don't necessarily listen to me. But yeah, I feel like this would be a much better world, bro. Like, just enjoy the ride. Stop, like, beating yourself up about all the questions of life. And again, I thought it was cool how he kind of mentioned some people go to, I think, religion to kind of cope with reality. Because I do think, especially Christianity, in a sense, is a coping mechanism for a lot of people. Just giving yourself, purpose and I guess a moral code to follow and rules to kind of keep your life in a straight and narrow. I think they even say that, straight and narrow path. But yeah, I mean, I think religion works for a lot of people. But I think people like me and people like the guy who made this video, religion just doesn't work for us. I don't think religion works for everybody. Obviously, it doesn't. But again, for some people, it does. But for me, yeah, I really resonate with absurdism, bro. I don't necessarily I don't give myself titles a lot, but I resonate again with a lot of stuff that absurdism kind of, I guess, embodies. So, yeah, man, I don't know if you guys are into this type of stuff, but again, it interests me, and I like making videos about shit that interests me. Yeah, if you guys stay to the end, and if you enjoyed the content, I appreciate it, and I'm happy you did. I'm gonna hop off, get on stream. Yeah, if you guys want to come through, that's cool. If not, enjoy the weekend. Peace.